Ah, sì, the freshest tomato, Mama. Hello, so today this is cooking with Dingo and Mum, and we're gonna make one of the finest pasta sauces you've ever tried. Mum's recipe, I do have a small addition to this. The best pasta sauce you've ever had, super easy to make. Let's go for it.
But I have to tell you, in all honesty, it's not my recipe. It's an Italian mama's recipe.
Yeah, but you got it, so you inherited that recipe.
I did inherit the recipe. I've been using this recipe for, I don't know, like.
So that Sicilian granny you got the recipe from, she's dead a long time ago. Now that recipe only exists in your head. We got to get it out there for the people.
So one of the secrets that Lenore gave me was that you always put a grated carrot in your SUGU. She called it SUGU sauce. And this is a bolognese. It's got meat in it. She always put a carrot in it. And the reason why, she said, is because the tomatoes are really acidic. And what the carrot does is it absorbs the acidity of the tomatoes so that the sauce isn't bitter. And I tell you, that is one secret that really works. So we've got the olive oil, the oregano, and you should use fresh oregano, but I'm not using it. Okay, so pepper, salt. Now I always use the Celtic sea salt. It's the best sea salt, okay? However, because we're making an Italian dish, I'm gonna be using some Sicilian sea salt. It's the last of it that I have. Carrots, red wine, organic ground beef, and you can use other meats if you want. Everybody likes different kinds of meats. Garlic, tomatoes, biologique, mushrooms, 10 Parmesan for the top, and I always get the Italian Parmesan, don't get the American Parmesan, get the Italian Parmesan. I use these, the spring onions. I don't use the other onions, the regular onions. I use the spring onions. And another thing you can do about onions, you know what's kind of interesting? If you don't cover them when you put them in the fridge, they kind of get wilty. And it's the same with any fruit or vegetable, but you can rehydrate it. And all you need to do is just put it in water. Okay, and then what's the 13th ingredient?
Amore.
Amore!
Okay, now it's time to grate the carrots, an important item.
So what we're gonna do is I always like give him that job.
You know, I got the manual labor, it happens, you know. Do the finest of grating. All right, here we go.
There you are. And he always does a good job of the grating. I have him grate the Parmesan too. He does a fabulous job.
It's a nice workout, there you go.
Yeah.
We should be using machines for this though.
Now what I do with the tomatoes, I like the soft one, juicy ones because they're juicier. And this is a sauce, so you probably want more sauce. So that one, put aside. That one, put aside. Oh, that one's nice and soft. That one's good. So I just feel them. I actually bought these 2 days ago. I do like to buy the fresh tomatoes a couple of days beforehand. That way they get to ripen a little bit and get juicy. Now once again, you know, most people want the skin off because the skin, I mean, it gets in the sauce. But I like to cook it with the skin, and you can just pull the skin out of your dish if you want it later, but it's got all the nutrients in it. So I'm just gonna take those. I just do, I don't have to have them too small, you know. Take off the top. I'm not a chef, so nothing's gonna be perfect here, people. We got the tomatoes chopped, and we're gonna use some canned tomatoes too. But just go ahead and put all that juice in there. Seeds are really good for you. Very healthy, we eat seeds anyway. Okay, so, take the ends off. And I use the whole shebang. I use the whole thing. The chives, everything. I once saw somebody cooking something and they just used the top of these instead of the whole spring onion. I was like I thought, well, that was weird because these are very flavorful.
Okay, now back to manual labor time for me. I do the chopping on the, let me get my favorite knife.
Oh yes, he does that, duty.
That's the knife, not that one, okay.
Here, let me, do you want?
We get a nice little chop.
Here.
That I can do.
I was gonna sharpen it for you.
We're on vid here, Mum, but I think we got it, we're good.
Is it sharp enough?
Yeah.
Because I like to sharpen my knives, but I don't like them too sharp because I end up cutting myself.
You don't want a scalpel there, Mum.
No, but I do like a sharp knife, like those.
So you
are
just, so you just chop up the, onions like you would, you know, regular size.
Yeah.
Like you'd put on a salad or so. And once that's done,
Oh yeah, he's the expert now.
bada bing, bada boom. And I'm explaining, Mum, you got to tell them how they make this fine sauce, how they chop things.
Well, they're
We
looking-
grate the carrots all finely. We
Yeah.
chop the spring onions
And then we can put them.
all the way to the top. So you want all the green?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
This is a Sicilian recipe. It's very hearty. Where do you try this? You're gonna love this bloody sauce, I'm gonna tell you right now.
And this sauce, you know, when I got this recipe, I gave it to my aunts who lived in New York at the time. Well, they're dead now. But and it went all
Rest
around the
in peace.
theater. Yes, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
It went and it went all around the theater district. So.
No, this is the best sauce. Yeah, Ragu, move over. There's a new king in town.
Oh,
okay?
Ragu's a joke. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Ragu's pretty good. Doesn't compare to this stuff.
Although I have to tell you, Wolfgang Puck's bolognese is excellent. It's excellent. It's very rich, very good. There's
Also,
no
Buca di Beppo is pretty boss. But I gotta say, this isn't even a pasta sauce. It's a whole nother thing. This is like a meal that you put on pasta. I wouldn't even call it a sauce. It's an entirely different thing. Where do you try this?
Right. Now, Dingo likes mushrooms.
I love
And
them.
one of the secrets that for this SUGU is keep the mushrooms whole. Don't chop them up, keep them whole. So I like to put the big ones in because they shrink anyway when they cook. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put the biggest ones. 9, 10. Okay, so the next thing we're using is garlic. Okay, and I used to use non-organic garlic, but then I found out that most of our the non-organic stuff was coming from China, and they spray all kinds of stuff on it. So I don't use that anymore. So organic garlic is what we use. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Dingo chop the garlic.
I do the chopping. So how do we chop it up, Mum?
Okay.
For the sauce?
Well,
Small pieces?
well, you know, they don't have to be too small because
Minced, as they say?
yes, minced is good. That works because and I use a lot of garlic.
Well, it's pasta sauce.
Well, also
Every European recipe needs a ton of garlic. Makes
Well-
everything taste better.
that's not true. The
You know what else makes things taste better? You know, you add a little bit of this to anything, make it taste extra rich. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's terrible wine though.
Ah, yeah, now we're cooking for real. Ah, yeah, that's the good stuff, mate.
That's the old plot.
No, that's the good stuff.
That's the
3 wishes, Vino. You see that? We got 3 wishes. Do you know where that's from? This is the $2 Chuck that's not from Chuck.
Then it's not $2 anymore. It's now $3.
But when your feet get a little tired in the kitchen, you gotta take a couple of swigs of the Vino. Makes the day go by faster, Mum. There you go.
Okay, so we're gonna put some. You need a big pot for this. Okay, so lots of olive oil. Lots of olive oil. Okay, you don't need to be stingy with the olive oil at all. And I use Spanish olive oil because, well, I'm a Spaniard, and so I think it's the best olive oil in the world. And I actually just decant it so into a smaller bottle from a big bottle. All right. So I put lots of olive oil. And then break up the meat. Once again, I use organic meat. And you don't have to use beef or ground beef. You can use whatever meat you want. You know, sausage, or everybody uses something different. The next thing I do is put the onions and the carrots in. Okay. And the garlic. Now, I actually wait to put the garlic in. And the react till after I've browned this, okay, and done the onions. Because garlic, if you cook it too long, it gets bitter. So you only can cook it for a couple of minutes, you know, unless you put a lot of olive oil in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this up, okay? To get it going. I got this, you know, we got this. Do you remember this, Dingo?
I do.
We got this at the Oracle at Delphi.
See.
There's a little town just outside.
Opa.
Yeah, there's a little town just outside Delphi. Or I think it might be Delphi. I think the Oracle's just outside of there. And I got this, but it's my trusty giant wooden spoon. Now what we do, I put pepper in it. While it's browning like this is when you want to put the other herbs in. So, a lot of pepper. In fact, you know what? I like Dingo to do this. Okay.
And my hands are already tired, okay? We need another machine for this, Mum. Why don't we have a pepper machine? Too much manual labor going on with this cooking. We're not in the old country, this is the new country, we use machines. See, like this fine piece right here, you know? You put a can right in there and it opens it up for you.
And then, as far as the herbs are concerned, I just do it by taste. You know, I actually cook by taste. But you've got the garlic, pepper, oregano, salt, white wine, and amore. So once again, let's do the same thing with the salt. Is once I get everything going, look, it's nice and browning in there. Look at that. And you see, it's nice, it's getting brown. Nice, that's nice. So at this point, because it looks like it's almost brown, is when I'll put the garlic in. And then it starts getting that really yummy smell. That garlic and olive oil smell.
It smells good in here, I gotta say, right now.
And then I do is just a couple of minutes, literally, time it. Because you don't want the garlic to get bitter, you know. And then after that, we do the maters. Now, once I put the maters in, I'm also gonna do, I always also use canned maters. I just use one big can of peeled whole tomatoes. And sauce and all, because you want the sauce. Okay, so we're gonna put the maters in now. And the can of maters, juice and all. And then I try to break these up too. These will break, these are peeled. I mean, if you're gonna get them canned, you may as well let them peel them. And then all I do is cook those down a little bit. Okay. Break it down. There's the vino. The plonk.
See.
Now, you know, some chefs will say, hey, you know, use whatever wine you drink, but I don't know. And I'm very liberal with the wine.
Well, the wine makes it taste extra good.
It's very rich.
It makes it rich, yeah.
Okay, and then I just let that cook. You got it all in there that you need. You just let it sit and cook.
How long, Mom?
Well, you know, you don't have to cook it to death. I think that's a wrong thing to do. I think when you cook the tomatoes to death, it makes them bitter. And so I just do it visually, depending on how much you're cooking. I mean, this was a pound of ground beef, so we'll come back and have a look at it in an hour and see how it's doing. Do a little taste test, see what it needs.
And then I noticed the mushrooms are right over there. They're not in. Why is that,
I'm not
Mum?
putting those. Well, I guess I could put them in, you know.
Do you put those in later or now, Mum?
I usually put them in later, but we can put it in now. These are big mushrooms. If they're big ones, you can put them in early. I got it on high, 6, you know. I'll come back and check it in like an hour. Maybe turn it down a little bit to 3.
Okay, so it's been just about an hour, and it's time for the taste test. Let's see how the sauce is coming along. You know it's gonna be bloody good. Okay, open her up. Oh yeah, Mom.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not.
That smells nice. That's
really
good sauce.
Yeah. Tomatoes aren't broken down enough, but I mean, if you like it chunky, go with it.
Yeah, we gotta smash up those tomatoes a bit, I reckon.
Now, you know what's interesting too is Dingo doesn't like tomatoes,
I hate tomatoes.
but he loves this sauce.
I like pasta sauce. I like ketchup. I like
Salsa.
Salsa's pretty
But
good.
he doesn't like a tomato like on a sandwich or, you know.
No, I hate raw tomato. Tomatoes are gross. It's yummy. That is yummy. It's so rich with the vino in there and all that stuff.
Oh. It doesn't need anything else. It's just the point where I taste it. Does it need a little more salt? Does it need a little more this or that? But it's perfect.
Do 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 do.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito. You know when you make a home-cooked meal, you know, you spend all day in the kitchen, and then the sun sets and the food's finally done at the end of the day. All right, let's go. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Okay, so.
Okay, let's talk with the aroma of the pasta. This is honestly the best pasta you've ever had. I'm not even joking.
Pasta, the bolognese?
Oh my God.
I don't know, I like Wolfgang Puck's one.
His is pretty boss. I mean, Buca di Beppo is pretty good too. It smells so like from the garden, you know, like if you picked a bunch of stuff like fresh out of the garden and boiled it up. Like I said, it's not even a sauce so much as it is all the foods like tomatoes and mushrooms and meat, all on the pasta, not just like swimming in sauce, you know. So you scoop it up, you get a nice tomato on there, you get some pasta, you roll it up. Bloody hell, mate.
It's good.
There you go. Cheers, Mum. This recipe will now live on the internet forevermore now.
Mom.
From Sicily to you, to you. Bloody hell.
I'm gonna open this wine now.
Later, mate.